just spoke to Conor Grant about what the effect a win can have on a full week of training and going into a next game. And I suppose that, the easy thing to say is that it's boosted everybody's confidence. Can you give us an insight as to what it's actually been like over the last few days?
Yeah, the result certainly has given us everybody hope, and that's been the wonderful thing with the good solid work that we've done. It was a real crucial game, as is every game that we played is crucial, but none more than last week than Port Vale against Burton. And to get the 3 points was really, really good for us, really. It come late in the game, but we feel that we deserve the 3 points. So to get those 3 points and then have another week to work, the players are in a good place. Feel they're in a good place with the work that they've done and looking forward. But what we have to do is maintain that with this next game, because it's another important game that we have tomorrow here in front of our home fans.
Of course, that's the biggest thing, like we said, is that you can have a good result, but in the situation you're in, it matters little if you don't build on it, and now wins become more of a priority than anything, however you get them.
Absolutely, because what's happening now, we're at the business end of the season, if you like. For us, with 8 games remaining, looking no further than obviously on Friday, the start of this Easter bank holiday weekend, with the 2 games in 4 days. So it's a really important time, and we're at a time where we know what's needed. We have to perform, and we don't get to choose. And tomorrow we need another performance that we can build on what we did at Burton, and it's essential that we do that. As I said, I've had a good week's work with the boys. They're in a good place, mentally and physically in a good place, which a result does, but a convincing one. I think last week it was convincing in the sense that we worked hard, we battled hard for each other, we adopted a game plan that was suited for that particular game, and I thought the players came out on top. But there was overall it was a solid performance, but there's some individual performances in there that were really, really good. So we need more of the same, if not better. A different type of game here at Vale Park tomorrow, but one that we're looking forward to.
Did you maybe learn anything about the group that maybe you didn't know before? Because I know you'd said about getting the messages across to them and how they take those on, and they seem to do that on Saturday. So have you maybe learned a little bit more about how to get those messages across to them now, effectively?
Yes, but again, Phil, that's just time. When you look at us, and it feels like there's been a lot of times gone by, but this is 6 weeks in since we came in and signed. So it's not long really in terms of, and the short time we've had to work together on the pitch. So we've tried to grab every opportunity that we can do in the classroom or on the training ground, or messages throughout the week that we feel we can get to the players. And I think what we've seen is a level of understanding from the group, us as the coaching staff getting to understand their mentality and building the relationships with them. They're a good group. They're an honest group, and they've had to deal with a lot this season in terms of the turnaround and things what's happened here. So credit to the group of players for trying to take on as much information whilst trying to play under that pressure to get those results needed. And like anything else, it's just taken time. But that time now is sort of fast running out really. So in terms of the performances, we have to perform. And that's what we're looking forward to. As I said, we've worked hard this week, and we feel as a group and as a squad, we've got people more up to speed. We felt there's 1 or 2 players here that probably weren't playing as much games as what they should have done, or game time. So we've managed to arrange a lot of in-house games, additional training for them. And certainly the group look a lot more better in a physical sense as well, really. So again, the proof will be in the pudding in terms of the results and the performances on the pitch.
Just a word for Ryan Loft. We saw how much that goal meant to him. We saw how much it meant to the squad and the bench as well. From your experience of knowing him only a very brief time, what difference has that goal made to him? But not just that, his performance as well, because his all-round game, aside from the goal, just seems to be improving incrementally as we go along. So what have been your impressions of him in the short time you've known him?
Yeah, in the short time, I remember Lofty from coming up against him, and he was at another club, and I just remember him just being a constant thorn. He's a big man, but for his size, he moves well across the pitch. He works hard for the team, and like I said, with all strikers, they just want that goal. So it was really keeping him in in the mindset that the chances will come and he will score. When I arrived here, the first 2 games I played him, so I knew what in him in terms of the player that he was. So I started him for the 2 games, and then got him going, and just kept him believing. And even the last week when he went through, and he had that chance earlier on. We came over. There was a sort of an incident on the pitch, and one of the players was getting treatment. I just said to him at Burton, just be ready for the next one, because I could tell in terms of how he was playing, there's not been a lot wrong with his game. But as I said, with strikers and attacking players, you almost judge themselves or feel that everybody judges them on goals. So with him getting that goal, it was a special moment for him. But we were really pleased. Everybody here at the club's pleased for him, because his work rate has been exceptional for the team, and to get him to capitalise on his performance with that goal will do him no ends. But in terms of his confidence, a real boost, and we're really pleased for him that he did get the goal.
Was it hard for him not to let his head drop, given the run that he's been on?
Yeah, you're spot on, and that's been him and his self-determination. We've had a couple of meetings in the room, and he just said, "What do you want from me, Gaffer?" And I said, "Just continue what you're doing, because you're getting into the positions to score goals." I said, "Are we standing here now, or sitting here now, and talking about you not getting opportunities? Every game he's played, he's had opportunities to score. The hardest thing is creating those opportunities." So for him we feel that with himself in there, Willow, Bailey, Jensen, Chizzy, Ben Garrity, those players in those, Gavin Massey, those players in those advanced areas, we feel if we can get the chances to them, we feel they'll score goals, and that's all we'll continue to do.
Just to mention for Bailey as well, who's obviously come back from international duty with a few goals under his belt as well, I think, since we last spoke to you. And that must do, not just him the world of good, but you as the first team manager, to know that one of your players has been away on international duty, got himself a few goals, and he's coming back in and ready to compete with your team at such a young age. I mean, that must be good for you from your point of view.
Yeah, we knew when I first came and saw Bailey in action, and had him up with the first team, I had no hesitation to keep him around the first team and include him. And I knew chances would come for him at first team level. And not only did a chance come, but he's taken the goal. So to get a call up for the England internationals, we knew that would be the case, because I don't think there's many sort of 17, 18-year-olds playing at this level, first team football. So that was a special time for Bailey. But for him to go into the England setup and 3 goals in 3 games, if you look at it in that sense, is a great return. So for Bailey, fantastic, wonderful for him and his family. But us at Port Vale, we welcome him back in open arms, and that's certainly another individual that's coming back with a lot of confidence. So over the space of a couple of weeks, in terms of our strikers in the club, for different reasons, they found themselves on the score sheet. So again, for us here at Port Vale, can only be a magnificent boost for us coming into this game against Bristol Rovers.
Having spoken to Bailey, he seems to have his head screwed on for such a young age as well. In your experience as manager, is that quite surprising to find one so young who's kind of quite grounded and realises where he's at in his development without not being told, but kind of having a real self-awareness about where he is at this stage in his career and what he's still got to do more of?
Yeah, and it's great testament and temperament to him, in terms of him knowing exactly where his performances are, where his career is, and knowing that there's still a lot more to come. And that lot more to come is done and implemented on the training ground, and it has to come with a wonderful appetite to want to learn. And Bailey has all those attributes where he's been doing really, really well for us, but he doesn't want to stand there. When I look at him, I see a young man wanting to develop, wanting to learn, and wanting to further keep enhancing his football career. And here at Port Vale, he's got the platform to do that. So long may that continue. We're really pleased to have him back, and he'll continue to develop in the right way. And as long as he's developing the right way, then it bodes well for Port Vale Football Club.
Last couple of things. First of all, Mitch Clark, who I know you mentioned after the game on Saturday, said it didn't look good for him. Just bring us up to date with him, and maybe Uchi as well, as to where he's up to.
Yeah, so starting first with Mitch Clark, unfortunately Mitch has picked up sustained an injury in training, a muscle injury that we feel probably he may get back before the last game of the season. If not, we feel that that might be him for the rest of the season. So that's 50-50 whether he comes back for probably the last one or not. So he's sustained a muscle injury. With Uchi's been back in training and looks very much part of it. We gave him 45 minutes some game time behind a closed doors friendly in the week. He come through that unscathed. He's had a couple more days of training, so he's building up his volume and fitness perfectly at the moment, and it's great to have him back in the training ground.
Last one, it'll mean a lot after that first win for you last week as well. I know it's a collective thing, but for you to get that one was good. Now it'd be nice to get a home win as well, wouldn't it? And it'd tee you up quite nicely for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and that's the thing for us. We felt we've sort of come close a couple of times here, all but be it for decisions or anything else that goes in with the game. But certainly being back here in front of our home support off the back of a real positive away day performance. We know that here at Vale Park tomorrow. Sing your hearts out for the team. Really looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. And as I said, we want tomorrow to be a continuation of what the platform we've set from last week. We know they're a difficult team coming in, but again, we're just looking to where we are, and we just want to continue developing and pushing on as a team.